Hey guys, so this is a time lapse of the Patreon sketch for December 2020, and I want to rewind it a little bit here because, as you can see, I start out with a thumbnail sketch. This is the final. The thumbnail sketch right here is what I copy and pasted into the final image, the final file that I work on. I draw every character on their own layer. That way I can kind of lower the opacity of the other ones so I can better see the one that I'm working on at the time. Helps me a lot. Drawing 3 characters together is not easy, and it's not something I normally do. So it helped me a lot to work on separate layers. I redo this character a couple times because I wasn't using a reference, and I was really dumb. You'll see, there we go. I redo her right there. So the color appears rather suddenly. And let me go back to that. And that's because I was working in a completely separate program called Heavy Paint. It's pretty interesting, maybe a little frustrating for people who haven't used it before, but it's pretty unique as well. I think it creates some effects that you don't really commonly see in a lot of other art programs. So I want to use it more in the future for that reason. But I do work on top of it in this drawing. I don't even think that you'll see any remnant of it in the final version. Oh, there's that gold right there. So one of the things I did in this drawing was my little gold trick where I lay down dark red at first, and then I airbrush on top of that orange and yellow, and it kind of gives it this nice metallic sheen quality to it. There I go, doing the details in the background, adding some warmth to the image. That is one of the favorite, classic favorite parts of a lot of artists, is adding those little final touches that really bring together the image. I'm going to go over some of the layers as well here. Let me just hide a whole bunch. There we go. It looks really weird. That's the heavy paint layer that I also kind of painted over as I fixed Leora especially. These little crosses you see here, they are for when I copy and pasted in the screenshot from Heavy Paint, so I can line them up. Here's some detail layers. Usually I work all on one layer. I like to pretend that I'm just painting on a canvas, but sometimes for more complicated drawings like this, I will take advantage of the fact that I'm working digitally, and that's something I need to utilize for myself. This layer is kind of like a composition saver. It creates a nice heavy triangular shape for the composition, and it feels a lot more grounded and solid than it did before just from doing that. Here's some drapes. Here's the foreground drapes. I actually had these on for a while longer before I added all of that in, because I wanted to remind myself constantly of what I want the focus to be, so I kind of just added these in earlier on in my process to keep the composition strong. These 2 layers here are a little different because they're set to different blending modes. This one's set to overlay and this one's set to hard light. I really just wanted to add some more warmth and a feeling of completion to this drawing. I normally don't like to do that too often. I have nothing really against it when artists do that, but for me, I like to challenge myself to just know how to create a composition with, nice hues and nice values without relying on the program too heavily. Otherwise, you'll kind of get something that looks a little blown out, in my opinion, for me. I used to go ham with all sorts of layer effects and stuff like that, and then I stopped. And that's my signature layer right there. Normally I put my signature on the lines layer, but here I just plopped it in on top. Anyway, that's that. This is the final version of it. I think I probably could have pushed it a bit more. I see some things I want to fix up maybe in the future if I ever want to revisit this. But if anything, I'll probably do another kind of group drawing much later in the year to compare this to. And that'll be interesting and fun. I really look forward to this here in terms of improving my artwork and improving my ability to create a fun and pleasing composition that doesn't look too jumbled and is very clear. So anyway, thanks for supporting me and thanks for being here.